So now Liz, I would like to invite Liz from VQ. So on this Hong Kong Digital Credential Hub.
Good afternoon, everyone. Very cheerful demonstration just now, and very glad to know that the chatbot gives only an ethical answer and not cyanide tipsy to new students about course registration. So this is Liz, and apology for my voice. I'm having a bad cough over the weekend, and usually I have the sweetest voice, but let's bear with it for today. So I'm Liz from the Hong Kong Council for Accreditation of Academic and Vocational Qualifications, HKCAAVQ in short. Happy to be here today and have the opportunity to share with you something that we have been working on. And I see some familiar faces here today and some new faces, apparently. May I ask if anyone of you needs an introduction, like a short introduction of what HKCAAVQ is? Yeah, some friends already know, but I'll keep it short. Like the VQ is a statutory body established in 1990. We provide policy assurance and assessment services to education and training institutions, course providers, and the general public. So we have two statutory roles. First one as the accreditation authority, and the second one as the qualifications register authority under the Hong Kong Qualifications Framework, the HKQF. So in more layman terms, we quality assure programs and operators outside the self-accrediting sector, and we manage the qualification register. We decide which qualifications can go onto the HKQR. And on a side note, I think Dr. Kim, yeah, just mentioned just now about some guidelines that developed by the project about credit transfer and credit accumulation. We actually have CAT credit accumulation and transfer guidelines also developed by the government that any operator who are interested may refer to in the HKQF website. So that's a bit of us to start with. Next, I'm going to spend the coming like 15 minutes. I promise I'll keep it short. I probably won't use that long because, yeah, as you have a preview just now, my presentation deck, it's quite short. And leave you some time to raise questions maybe before the our group discussion starts. But I'll introduce you a project that we've been working on for the past couple years, a digital credential verification platform named the Hong Kong Digital Credentials Hub. So spoiler alert is, I do not have a strong IT background, so I'll walk you through the platform, the hub, with an overview from with a focus from a user's perspective, and I would definitely spare you the technical details. So it's going to be short and sweet. Okay, so let's dive in. The first question we may have is why do we need such a platform? So one of the aims of the Hong Kong Qualifications Framework, the HKQF, is to promote continuing education and lifelong learning, enhance the workforce productivity in the knowledge-based economy, and to develop the QR, which is a public interface for the public to find qualifications that are quality assured. So since the QF's launch in 2008, it has facilitated a gradual transformation in the workforce, encouraging more people to seek further education and skills enhancement. So people would utilize the QR to find quality training operators and programs, and eventually to obtain credentials, more like QF recognized credential. So very often we are accumulating credentials through, vocational training, professional training, and continuing education, and even RPL. If some of you are not very familiar with that term, it's a mechanism that for certain industry, the practitioner can get assessment for what they have been doing to avoid repeated learning. So that's a mechanism under the QF as well. So eventually, we're getting more and more credentials over time after we leave school, after we finish the formal academic study, formal education. And I'm sure we don't need to spend too much time on the importance of verification in combating academic forgery, as you may know from the news recently. So in particular, anyone today from the registry maybe, or have experience admitting student doing program admission? Yes, I did. So I do remember that there are times that we receive emails or even faxes from institution or employers asking us to verify a certain graduate's, someone's diploma, someone's details, or even if not working for the registry or in terms of like admission process, I'm sure, has anyone tried to look for helpers, like taking care of newborn babies, 陪月的, like postnatal care helper? How would you usually start the search, right? So some of us would go for referrals from friends, you know, they use this auntie before and yeah, refer to us. But, you know, if you could, like, would you like to verify their like qualification, verify their credential before you actually employ that helper? So now the need to, you know, verify credentials is not only limited to university in higher education sector for admission, but also for employment, like our daily life use. So not only would, you know, university receive such requests as well, even for VPAT, vocational training operators, the chance is if someone could, they may go to them and ask them to verify the graduate information. So instead of having a designated person like the poor Sarah just now, to answer all that boring, repeated questions, the HKDC Hub, the Digital Credential Hub, provides a secure and integrated platform where you could verify qualifications that are recognized under the QF like instantly. So what is the DC Hub? So here's some of the distinctive features of the HKDC Hub. You know, while individual operators, they may choose to develop their own platform for verification with same or similar technology, the DC Hub has the advantage that this is developed by and managed by the HKCAAVQ. So operators can save the cost on the initial IT development and the subsequent regular continuing management. And once the learners have their account activated, they can put their credentials in their portfolio, which they may obtain from various sources, different types of training and education. Again, as long as they're recognized by the QF, or they are registered on QR, they are potentially eligible. Lastly, the DC Hub offers nearly like instant verification of qualification that is not limited by time or location. And the platform aims to, you know, facilitate verification not just within Hong Kong, but essentially beyond the territory. So how does the system work? Well, the backbone of the DC Hub lies a blockchain-enabled platform that contains hashed credential data. So other than Professor Wu, I'm sure you will know, but anyone can tell what's the difference between hashing and encryption? Bonus point for our colleagues if Ophelia or Wei Yi knows. Well, from my limited IT knowledge, hashing is a one-way function that data is mapped to a value which cannot be reversed. So that's one of the characteristics of what is being stored on the DC Hub. So to start the process of what will be happening on DC Hub, the operator, the training provider, would upload the individual graduate's data to the DC Hub from here. And then they will get from the DC Hub a digital credential file for each graduate for them to distribute to each of the graduate, like a paper diploma. So it's a file together with a paper, with a piece of paper, I suppose. And so the DC Hub only store hashed and encrypted data on the blockchain. So again, in more layman term, data in the blockchain has a high level of security as it is impossible to mess around with the record in one archive unless you can change every piece, every archive in the chain, or else the whole blockchain would be invalid, right? I'm asking for my technical support behind. Yeah, that's how a blockchain maintain its tamper-free secured characteristics. So again, we can have higher level of confidence that the information we put in there, it's safe, nice, and secure. So next, the individual will have either one or more than one digital credentials from their institution, from their operator. They can start using the hub as an individual user, where whenever they would like to apply for a job or they will apply for a program, he or she can log onto the DC Hub, consolidate different versions or different portfolio as a combination of the digital credentials for a specific purpose, and then send the portfolio to a potential employer or an institution as they wish. And then the employer or the institution, we call them the corporate user. When a corporate would like to verify the digital credential or the portfolio, they could just submit the file to the DC Hub for the authentication, like again, instantly. Lastly, as the system manager, the HKCAAVQ will be able to consolidate some statistics, which may be useful for a number of different purposes. For one thing, the data could provide insights into trends in education and vocational training, help policymaker, help training provider, institution, universities to make better decisions. And we can also understand more about the area that may be in need of further training opportunities. Or we could also share the data insights with different stakeholders to foster, stronger collaboration between the industry and the training sector. So that use with the data that there will be no limit. And remember one thing, because there's no personal data stored on the DC Hub. In the blockchain, there's no personal data. So there's relatively little concern over data privacy or leakage. So the above, it's like a simple workflow of what's happening in the DC Hub, starting from credentials conversion, credentials management by the learners or the graduates, and credentials verification by the corporate users. So what have we done so far? Let's take a look at some of our key milestones in the project. We started developing a proof of concept prototype 2 years ago in 2022 with the support from the Innovation Technology Commission. And in May 2023, when the prototype is completed, we start developing the user guides, different documentations for users reference, and initiated a 3-month pilot trial involving different stakeholders, including operators and students as well. So the key of the pilot trial is not only just to test the platform itself, but we give out the uploading template to the operators who are participating in the trial. And they are using that template also to develop their own workflow. So how do they gather the information about their graduates, how they incorporate the procedure in, with their schedule of different academic boards, committee, senate, and how they disseminate the digital credential to their graduates. What do they do when they need to rectify the records and so on? So it's an important time for them to try out their internal arrangement as well. And when the trial concluded in August 2023, we started to develop good practices from what we've heard from the operator and students for and start, of course, to develop our promotional materials for the next stage. And in October, we began collecting feedbacks and comments from local and overseas counterparts on the design of the platform. So this was the time when we presented the idea of DC Hub to our overseas partner, which are also QA bodies, and exchange our views on the system setup, design, and future development. So that's when the time when we get to know about the similar credential verification platform in other jurisdictions. And starting from earlier this year, we actually introduced an industry-based model, and we chose the elderly care industry as one of our pilot users. At this time, we're promoting with a focus more to our potential corporate users, as the elderly care facilities like the elderly care home, right? When they recruit staff, one of the things that we pay a lot of attention to is their candidate's credential. And if some of you are aware, recognize training for certain staff in the facility elderly care sector, they must obtain QF recognition as a requirement by the Social Welfare Department. So a bit of supplementary information here. And lastly, we are quite ready to go for a full launch, a full function of DC Hub with the help of funding from the Education Bureau, and we're planning it in the year to come. So for the full rollout, we plan to invite in stages VQ accredited operators to join the platform, either by individual training operators to gradually upload the graduate information in batches to the DC Hub, or invite operator offering programs or awarding qualifications in a certain industry to start uploading their graduates' information. For example, like what I mentioned just now, the elderly care industry would be an easy start to engage, because the operators, learners, and corporate users are quite keen to test out the verification platform as far as our consultation goes. And definitely with the participation from more operators and industry, we hope to further enhance the platform and bring more convenience to different parties. So in conclusion, I think that HKDC Hub represents a significant step forward in our digitalization journey, and we hope that it will continue to facilitate the mobility of talent across sectors, across different industry and conventional borders with the help of technology. So thank you for your time. I think yeah. If there's any question, I'll open the floor for question, if any. Yeah.